When you get started in the online business world, you start getting inundated with a whole lot of very intense promises. So, I am sure that you have encountered this if you do any kind of online entrepreneurship, as I have, that your your feed, the groups that you're in, the ads that you're getting, they're all with this like, oh, this person had this wild success. This person had a 100K launch in their first 6 months of business. And this person started at 10K months with only 2 followers. And you too can replicate this success. And it's it's hard to stay strong against that onslaught of messages, especially because they are so good at telling you that they have what you want, that magic bullet, that special key, that formula that is going to unlock the success of your business that you want so badly. And I think the biggest problem with these things is that they get you really discouraged and they make you feel like you're failing when you're actually succeeding, which is so ridiculous because I think we can all agree that a lot of these are very unrealistic expectations. Maybe that person did have that success. I don't know. Uh, they like to show their bank statements, so maybe it's true. But if so, it's luck. Or there was more that went into it than what they're saying. Like I had one person who said, I had this great launch, but keep in mind, I launched to a warm audience. Not many people are going to admit that they launched to an audience that was already being built, that people that already knew them. So then we do our launch as a new business to a cold audience and don't have the same results. And we think, I'm terrible. What's wrong with me? Why am I not succeeding? I've always struggled with envy, so maybe it's more me, but I hear this from a lot of people too, that it's just so discouraging. On the one hand, you want to see these success stories and go, oh, okay, if it worked for them, then it can work for me too. Like, I can do it also. But at least for my brain, what happens is, well, what am I doing wrong? Why is what I'm doing not working? But the truth is, it is working. Because if I take an honest look back, I can say, wow, I've come an incredibly long way in like 2 years. I started in marketing about 4 years ago, probably. And so now I'm like, oh, it's 4 years later, and I'm not making 10K months. I'm not having 100K launches. So I must be failing. And that's just, not true. Because when I started, I was new. I had a lot to learn. I was growing. I was doing internships. I've transitioned and built up my business to be from, doing hourly VA style work to now doing done for you services as an agency, doing the strategy. That's pretty new in my business. And I've been building towards it. I've been building that foundation and I'm getting close to those goals. But it's so easy to get discouraged and give up and think, this isn't working for me. I'm going to go try something else. So that's what shiny object syndrome does to me because I still get taken in by these marketing messages. I I love a good sales page and good sales language, it gets me. And I was talking to my business coach about it because I still sign up for so many of these webinars and courses and free things that promise the moon, and they're so basic. I get in there and I'm just like, what? Doesn't There's nothing here for me to learn. And that in itself is such a sign of how much I have learned and grown and how much success I am having, that I no longer need that type of training. Those trainings are too basic for where I'm at. And like, I should be celebrating that. Instead, it's like, I just can't stop myself from the FOMO, the fear of missing out. What if this person is the one who has that secret key? What if this person is the one person who knows the secret to getting blah, 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 blah? They aren't. There are no secrets. If a new technique is out there, then it's going to become known. If a new technique is working, people are going to talk about it. You're going to find out about it. It's not belonging to one person. And a lot of times, you don't need to be chasing after the perfect strategy. Like, get a good strategy, get a strategy that you feel comfortable with, and then dig in and focus on it. So I think the antidote to the shiny object syndrome and the chasing these promises and these quick wins is to choose your mentor, choose your course, choose your person that you're going to believe in, and then dig in and just go for it. Do the work that they put out and see how it does, and give it time to work. If there is a magic bullet, consistency is it. It's not sexy. It's not fun. It's not a big splashy headline. It's consistent effort every day, showing up, doing the stuff, not changing direction every 5 minutes. Give something 3 to 6 months, maybe even a year before you decide whether it's working or not. Slow and steady it's still the way, even with short attention spans, even with the internet. That is the way to build a real sustainable business. You don't want to be just depending on getting lucky, like some of these people who have these big promises. And if there's somebody that you really believe in, again, great. Like, dig into their program, but do one. Don't be seeing a new one every few months and changing direction, because you are more successful already than you give yourself credit for. And even if you don't have those benchmarks that you want to be able to check off and tell people, yes, I had this level of launch. Yes, I had this many sales. I have this number of sales per month. Even if you haven't gotten there yet, take a look at how much you have accomplished in the last few months, in the last few years towards your goals, because the timeline of building a business is so much bigger than 3 weeks, you know? And we expect these quick wins, and then if we don't see them, we give up and we never get there. And it's these ads and these programs, these gurus that are saying you have to do this, and they have something to sell, so of course they're going to tell you you can have it, this huge big thing for less effort. Like, that's their promise that that they're selling you on, that it can be done quickly and so fast, and it's not realistic. It's not real business, and it doesn't really make sense to be trying to get those results at such a fast pace. So it's not to say that you're not striving every day, but look at where you're putting that effort, and whether it's building a foundation, whether it's building one thing on top of another, or if it's just, just going, they say, like, digging a hole. If you're just digging down a few inches and then giving up, and digging a few inches here and giving up, and digging a few inches here, like, give yourself permission to dig into one thing and stay focused on it for a while so that you can really see if it's working. Because almost all of these techniques work given the time and the dedication. So I think that's everything that I wanted to say about that today. But I know that's something that I struggle with all the time. And measuring my own success, I have to think in terms of what my own goals are and where I came from, where I started from. I did not start with some big network. I did not start with a degree in marketing. I did not start with a background in a corporate job. I had none of that. My previous job was working at a grocery store as the self-check clerk. And my education is in poetry and creative writing. So I started this from scratch. So, oh my gosh, in 4 years, I've come a super long way, and I'm doing really well, and I'm getting close to my big goals. And I have to work really hard to remember that, because every time I see one of those posts about how this person made an incredible business in 6 months, I get discouraged. And I think a lot of us do. But if that discourages you to the point that you give up or think that you're not succeeding and it's not working, then it's really done a great harm. So don't let it do that to you. If it motivates you and inspires you, great. And if it doesn't, tune it out. I know, easier said than done, but every time you see it, just remember businesses take time. Businesses take time to build. It is ridiculous to say, 3 weeks from now, you're going to have this, and this, and it's going to be all wildly successful, and you're going to be suddenly wealthy, and you're going to be living on the beach. It takes time. And nobody wants to say that. Nobody wants to hear that, but it's the truth. So if there's any magic bullet, it is time and consistency.